Welcome to everyone joining us. We'll be getting started very soon. Welcome. Hope you have had a lovely day. Hope you're already settled in your room, back home, or you are in transit. Hopefully, you are being safe on the road. We'll be having a very interesting conversation today, and we're very excited to be having this conversation in AI Literacy Week. And the one who's going to be taking us through the session is already here, and I'm very excited that you have found the time to be part of this particular conversation. So we'll be getting started pretty soon, just under a minute, just allowing a few more people in the room. For those joining us directly via Zoom, those joining us online, welcome as well. We appreciate your time, and we are looking forward to sharing our knowledge, our experiences with you, and hoping that it will help you with your formulation of ideas and insights, but more importantly, having a piece of cake, in this big slice of cake called AI. And we don't want to miss out on this. I remember having a conversation with a friend last week and telling them to say, you see, I believe that there's never been an industrial revolution that Africa is ready to actually participate in, like this particular revolution that AI has. When the internet hit, most of Africa was still dealing with colonization issues. Most of Africa was still dealing with, different issues, apartheid, and all sorts of things around Africa. And we were not able to focus on that industrial revolution. But now AI has come and Africa has their hands folded and ready to get into the fight. Like we are ready for this. We have got people that are doing some very amazing and crazy stuff. I think in my line of work, I've been able to encounter some very impressive work out there. So I'm excited to just get started. I think we've reached at least a minute. So allow me to just share my screen and we'll get started. All right. Just confirm you can hear my audio. Again, welcome. Let's see in the chat where you're joining from. If you're joining from any part in Lusaka, just let us know exactly where it is. If you're joining any part of the Copper Belt, let us know where you're joining from, whether it's Livingston, Solwezi. Let us know where you're joining us from. We're excited. If you're online, just go ahead and just comment that you're excited to get started. So welcome to the AI Literacy Week. And this week is a week that I'll be very glad to introduce to you why it's even the AI Literacy Week. So, the AI Literacy Week is being led by Incala, and I'll talk about them very shortly. And we are hosting it as Bongo Hive here in Zambia. This is a groundbreaking initiative that aims to bridge the AI knowledge gap across Africa. And just moving on to this. Give me a second. Oops, my screen. It's having a bit of a challenge with my screen share. Give me a second. Okay, so all right, there we go. We now have my mouse responding. Thank you. Right, so a bit about who Kala is, and they have their website there at the bottom. Kala is really an organization out there that is pioneering transformative digital solutions. They're based in Nairobi, Kenya, and that's where the HQ is. The vision steers the continent towards innovation and empowerment. They have done a couple of work in areas like healthcare, where they developed and helped revolutionize healthcare solutions. They've been able to work in financial service areas where they've created inclusive digital banking platforms, helping, where they've supported the creation of these particular platforms. They've also helped and supported in the digital economy. They are committed to digital transformation, and it resonates in every project that they work on. And they have invited all of us to be part of this AI Africa Literacy Week, and we're excited to have them as partners on this. Another, I'm very excited to also introduce you to the Bongo AI Lab. Those of you who've interacted with our brand have known us a lot over the years for the work we do with entrepreneurs, that we do with innovators. You may know some popular programs out there, like the Women in Tech program. We recently concluded MindTech. You'd also be happy to know that we have an AI lab that was launched this year in March, and our website is right there at ai.bongo.co.zm. Please make a stop on that website. We have some amazing stuff on the site. And the AI lab is poised to be able to drive innovation across the continent. We empower organizations to harness artificial intelligence effectively. Our expertise catalyze economic growth whilst addressing pressing societal challenges. We are eager to accelerate adoption of AI. We want to be able to ensure that startups and businesses across Africa are enabled with AI integration. We want to be able to see the building of local expertise and also the driving of impact that we can see from AI being implemented within our businesses and our work. So in AI Literacy Week, the reason why this was put together is that a few things have been noticed, and I'll be able to talk about that. But we are hoping that this benefits you if you're a developer, if you're a student, a professional, an entrepreneur that's eager to solve real-world challenges using AI, whether you also work in the government, in your profession. We want to be able to empower you with knowledge that will help you be able to implement AI and help you solve challenges out there. Like I said, there's a partnership between Kala and Bongo Hive, and we've collaborated to bring this to you today. We are hoping that this will be a game changer in fostering AI innovation and knowledge sharing and skill development. And our mission in this AI Literacy Week is to democratize AI knowledge. We don't just want the elite to know about AI. It's all about decentralizing the information and every single person getting to know this early on and being able to have the power in their hands or in their mind to make decisions that may better their lives or the lives of those around them. That being said, we're hoping to solve these challenges as we do this. We're hoping to solve the challenge of limited AI literacy, where we may see that students and professionals alike may lack certain essential AI knowledge and skills. I mean, we have a session today and Thursday, and today my colleague is going to take you through very intricate detail around challenges around AI and how you can solve them, but also open your world to a very practical session on how you can use some AI tools. And Thursday, I'll take it on where we'll be looking at vibe coding. So whether you're a developer or a person that's interested in being able to build stuff, AI has made it possible to be able to build. And I feel like we're moving towards a world where everyone will become a builder. And I'll talk a little bit more about that on Thursday as well. So we're hoping that this will help you deal with your AI literacy. I'm also hoping that this will help with localized solutions, where in key sectors like agriculture, healthcare, and education that we are passionate about, we're hoping to see that the need for AI applications tailored to African context is met. We're also trying to deal with the fact that there may be insufficient learning platforms, even so more for localized context on AI. And I think one of the things you will see is practical stuff that you can deal with in your day-to-day as a local startup, a local business person, as an owner of a business. And that's the context we're hoping to bring to you through this channel. With that said, let me not hold back our session anymore. We're going to have a session on today's topic, and I'll allow my colleague Muyanje, who's our data and AI associate at Bongo Hive, with experience in AI and data and qualified as well to talk on this subject. to run us through the conversation of today, where we unlock the AI potential and deal with challenges and hurdles that are faced in AI. And so, Muyanje, I'm going to let you share your screen and just be able to help elaborate on this amazing topic today. After Muyanje's session, we will have a Q&A segment. So stay behind, make sure that you actually ask questions. And I appreciate everyone that chatted in the inbox where they are from. We see that people from Lusaka. We've had people here joining us from Dola. Welcome, Avondale. It's nice to see everyone on the call. Nyanje, when you're ready, I'll be able to just give you a signal. We're not able to just see your screen just now. Sorry, Nyanje, can you hear me?
Thank you, Mapalo. Can you see my screen now? Can you hear me? Is my audio okay? And can you see my screen?
Okay, your audio is great. We're not seeing your slide screen at the moment. Maybe it's on my end. I think your tab, maybe someone else can confirm, but I'll just try to reshare because okay, now we can see it. And now we can see it.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction, Mapalo. My name is Muyanje Likumba. I am the Data and AI Associate. I am so excited to take you through today's session in unlocking AI potential and overcoming hurdles within the industry. From my understanding, I know a lot of us are professionals working corporate jobs, and we're all wondering, how can we use AI? Is AI here to take our jobs? What's next for us? So in this presentation, I'm going to walk you through what AI is, the foundational AI knowledge you may need, build an understanding of effective AI interaction, how you can use AI as a strategic partner so that you're not obsolete at the end of this wave, and how you can future-proof your career to make sure that by the time the AI wave is done, you are on top of it, you are better than ever. And not only that, we're going to have practical steps on how you can use AI in your everyday business, in your everyday work, and how it can make you an AI-augmented professional. Lastly, we're going to look at how AI and humans are evolving together, what the role is, and how you can transform alongside AI. So what is AI? If you're like me, I know that you have gone on your Google Chrome, on your Safari. If people are still using Edge or Explorer, you've gone on your web browser and searched what is AI. So AI is the ability for computers to think, to act, and look smart in ways that humans do. They use the information they get information, learn from it, and then use it to make decisions or complete tasks. So just a quick history of what AI was. AI began in 1956. That's when the term was coined by John McCarthy. So in those days, they were just looking for ways to make machines learn. And what it looked like was using games like chess or checkers. And that was what the early days of AI looked like. And from that, it has evolved to what we have now in the 21st century, where it's becoming more practical, where it's helping us find information, look for patterns, and analyze large sums of data that sometimes may be humanly impossible for us to do without AI or with just our human minds. So before we go further on how AI can help us in our professional, it's important that we understand a few terms like artificial intelligence. That's the ability to simulate information. So that means systems learning from information they have been given and using that information to solve problems. Machine learning. This is the ability of machines to learn from data. So they recognize patterns and use that pattern to make a prediction of the future. So they can tell that from the previous data information it has, that if it's 7 a.m. in the morning, it's in June, then the sun is out. And next year in June at 7 a.m. to tell you that the sun will be out. I know that's a very simple prediction, but it can do from very simple predictions to very complex predictions. Next, we also have natural language processing. This is the ability of a machine to understand and interpret human communication. So think your chat GPTs, your large language models, and Gemini. Again, as a person right now in this day and age, you're asking yourself, is AI here to replace you? Will AI take your job? No, it's not. AI is your strategic co-pilot, and you can either embrace it and move with it or deny it and stay behind. You can do things the old way or the new way. Will you enter data manually, or will you let AI handle the mundane stuff? Do repetitive tasks or let AI provide insights? Reactive problem solving, wait for something to go bad before you solve it, or let AI help you predict if there's going to be a problem in the first place. Do time-consuming research, or let AI automate your drafts. Funny thing about this is my first draft for this presentation was created by AI, and I just had to tweak and customize it to what I needed it to be, which saved me hours and hours of work. And that is what being an AI augmented professional looks like. Now, future-proofing your career and overcoming hurdles. To future-proof your career and make sure that you're not obsolete and other people do not take your job or other machines do not take your job, you can use AI to make sure that your efficiency is increased. You're working faster, tackling more loads with less work. It can enhance your decision making, make you focus on creativity, and give you relevant skills to evolve together with Africa, to evolve together with the world. As my colleague said, this is the first revolution that Africa is ready to be a part of. Are you going to come with us, or are you going to stay behind? You cannot go further in AI without looking at prompt engineering. I know prompting engineering might be a new term for a few people, but it's basically your ability to give a computer instructions. And with good instructions, it can help you save money, help you save time. There are a few tips that you need to be conversant of if you want to make a good prompt engineer or a good prompter, or how to use AI effectively. That's being clear and simple, or being clear and specific. So a good example of this is, instead of saying, write me a story, you can tell your AI to write you a short, funny story about a cat who goes on an adventure. This can create a whole world of difference. The more specific you are with your instructions, the more likely you are to get what you need to save money, especially with these new AI tools that are pay-per-use. You also need to provide context. AI, the more information it has, the better the results. So if you want, say, a summary of a news article, you have to provide the article itself so that it can summarize it. And if you want, say you are sending an email, you would have to provide some sort of context to the conversation you have, because you could say, write me an email saying the meeting is tomorrow at 15 hours. But AI will write it as if that's the first part of the conversation it has joined in, when you have found that you guys had a whole thread of information that was there before you reached that point, and the email will not make sense. Start simple and iterate. I know the temptation is there to have all to save time and have it all done within 1 minute, but that's not how you'd get a good response. Sometimes you're going to have to start with the first draft, then the second draft, and the third draft, making it more details, adding more details if the answer is not quite right. Just keep refining it, and I promise you, it will learn from that and get better. If you want AI to do something, you have to think about your audience. So say I was preparing my presentation deck for today. I thought about my audience, that I'm speaking to professionals who are not working in tech, who are either lawyers, accountants, consultants, different types of people who do not have experience in programming. And I tailored my information and my draft to fit that. So if you're going to have to present something to somebody, you have to make sure that it is tailored to that audience. I know I am spending a lot of time on prompt engineering, but trust me, prompt engineering can mean the world of difference in your experience with AI. And lastly, you have to provide structure. Before I prompted my AI to create this presentation deck, I had a structure of what I wanted to come first, the agenda, and a history in AI, and how we can use AI to be better. Provide the structure and you will have a good response. So what are the dons of prompt engineering? We talked about the do's, but now we talk about the don'ts. Don't make your prompts very complex. Do not try to put 5, 10 instructions within one prompt. It's going to be a disaster. 2, don't assume AI knows everything. Sometimes AI makes responses based off of what it has learned before, but sometimes it has learned, false things, or it's just inferring. So before you ask it about certain highly subjective information, you have to provide the information for it to give you a proper answer. Do not make your prompt too simple. Going back to the example of what I had said, write a story. If it's too simple, it might not give you what you are actually looking for. It might give you the correct thing, but not the right thing. Don't use vague language. Don't say something or create a strategy for a document. You have to specify the product or the goal you're looking for. What do you want the strategy to do? What product are you selling? And lastly, do not forget the goal. There's a reason why you're prompting, and there's something you want to achieve. If you go through providing context and making sure that it has all the specifics, but you don't add it at the goal, you're not going to get what you need. So as you have heard me talk about being an AI augmented professional. To be an AI augmented professional, there's 3 pillars that we're going to consider. And that is 1, using AI to master information and anticipate trends. Currently, we are in the information age. There is a lot of information, a lot of missed trends. AI can be used to specialize or personalize content, curate alerts, and make intelligent summarizations. The benefit of this as an AI augmented professional, as a person who's using AI to move ahead in life or in your career, is that you're going to always be informed, proactive, and always anticipating challenges. For example, in Rwanda, they're using AI to create a predictive analysis of agriculture to make sure that they are proactively managing crops to avoid, say, if there's going to be an infestation. Because of the way they have set up their programs or their tools, they're able to predict that before it happens. And this is the part where we make it a bit practical. There's an exercise. For those of you that you can follow me along with this exercise. So the first pillar of synthesizing information. We'll take a news article, put it in a chat, and have it create a concise summary of the article. Because I know a lot of times we do not have time. There's so much information out there. This is just level 1 of information synthesis. So we're going to go to my chat GPT. As you have seen, there's this article about the conflict that's happening in Iraq and how it's going to affect us all in terms of global trade of oil. We all use oil. So we're going to look at this. I'm going to copy this link, just an example of different articles that you could use, and just say, can you summarize this article? And you have seen that the AI has summarized the article for me in just 3 short paragraphs from 3 long pages. We can even make it even easier. Again, iterative. We can ask it, can you make this point form? Here is the bullet point summary of the article. And from the looks of it, it has shown me concisely what is happening in that article, what is the potential impact of the conflict in Iran on oil. And just to say, it's not looking so good at the moment. This is just an example of how you can use AI to make your life easier when you don't have the time to go through all those long articles. You can, with different tools like Notebook LM, you can even make that article a podcast so that you can listen to it whilst you drive. That is something that we do at Bongo Hive. We turn most of our written articles into podcasts using AI so that people who don't have the time to read through everything can still have the information at your leisurely pace. So the second pillar of AI as an AI professional or an augmented professional is that AI can automate the mundane stuff, boosting productivity and making your life easier, taking time away from the Tao and putting it towards the strategic and creative. So currently our problem, if we are doing things the old way, a lot of tasks are repetitive and time consuming. With AI, you can automate data processing, create initial drafts, or create an AI workflow, which is something I personally take advantage of over and over again. The benefit, freeing time, reducing errors, and reducing cognitive load. So again, another example of automating a task is creating a first draft. A lot of us are working, let's say LinkedIn. Yeah, you want to talk to somebody, but you don't have the time to sit down to think through a creative way of reaching out to them. You can use AI to draft a short email to a colleague, inviting them to coffee to discuss a topic, and it will generate something so quick, so fast, and all you have to do is just read through and create this and make necessary corrections, or maybe change the tone here and there, but it would save you something that would take you 30 minutes, would take it 5 minutes to do. Data-driven decisions. With AI, you can make strategic decisions. Most businesses or most people are sitting on a lot of data, a lot of information, and we're still making decisions using our gut feeling, or we're feeling overwhelmed to analyze the data, sit down and look at it. But with AI, you can put all that information in one place, have AI look at the trends, maybe even look at previous trends that have been happening within your industry and help you create a solution that has higher impact and gives you more confidence when you're pitching it either to your supervisor or your clients or your colleagues. So again, using AI to brainstorm. This It's something that you do on your own within your tasks to become an AI augmented professional. Think about a minor challenge that you experience in your workday. Be it you're always missing your papers. You're always missing documents within that you need when you need them. And you can ask AI, how can I solve this problem? You explain the problem and see the ways that it suggests. Test it out, see how it can make your life easier. Because I promise you, this is designed to make your life easier. I know that moving and adopting AI comes with certain factors. AI is not a be-all, end-all solution. There are things that we have to consider. AI is not so easy for each and every person to adapt. And from our report, our survey, which we had previously carried out, these were the main problems that people faced when implementing AI: the cost of AI, data quality, talent, or security. So how do we navigate AI adoption? How can you deal with these challenges that come with implementing AI? There are a lot of solutions that require you to pay. That is true. Most good AI requires you to pay. But before you can invest in paying for AI, the easiest solution is try the free one. Try, say, if you want to use ChatGPT, try the free version of ChatGPT because there's a certain limit of high quality prompts and see if it makes your life easier. Does using ChatGPT make you save money? Does using tools like Gamma make you save money? Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But before you make the decision to buy, you will know that it is worth the investment. Two, data quality. Like we had said, AI helps you analyze data and make predictions based off of data. But because data is the bedrock of AI, if you give it bad data, it's going to give you bad results. So you have to verify the source of your data. Are you making decisions based off of news articles? Verify that is actual real news rather than just hearsay or tabloids. Talent. A lot of people feel like they do not have the talent to use AI, or the gap from learning is really big. But there are so many ways we can circumvent this. Like you're taking a step right now, joining the masterclass, literacy workshops, finding user-friendly tools. That is how you close the gap in talent usage as a professional. Or even just reading up on your own. As scary as it looks, I can assure you that AI is very user-friendly and easy to understand if you just take the time to learn. Security and privacy. So when signing up for any of these tools, there's always the terms and conditions. I know it's very tedious to read, but always take the time to read those so that you can know what your rights are, how you are protected. And if you can afford it, use the enterprise ones. The enterprise ones typically are more safe and secure, but if you cannot, just make sure that you're reading the terms and conditions and seeing if the tool is worth the risk. Now that I have spoken about AI and shown you the way you can use AI, we've talked about the challenges you can face and how to overcome those challenges. What are the next steps? How can you begin your AI journey? Step one, you can identify your biggest needs. Where are you spending the most time? What tasks are you doing that are not impactful to your work? Once you have that down, write it down, figure it out, your whole list, maybe do 3 for a start or 1. Then 2, you can explore tools. Most times you find that there's certain tools like Chat, GPT, Gemini, DeepSeek, enough to solve your problem. Sometimes they're not, so you'd have to explore different specialized tools. Maybe you're doing data analysis. You'd find a different tool that you need for that. So explore the wide range of tools of AI tools that are there. And then 3, start small. The journey of 1,000 steps begins with 1. You don't have to go straight into making Jarvis level AI integrations within your systems. You can start small, just pick. Maybe you have to send an email to a client every morning. Have AI draft that email you're going to send. Have AI analyze the email you're already sending. So start small. Your role as a human being is evolving. It's no longer us versus AI. It's us plus AI. Think of the farmer. Before the industrial age, farmers had to use a hand hose to cultivate land, to cultivate vast land, pieces of land. And to be a commercial farmer, you just needed to have the most children at the time. But after the industrial age, we had tractors, and those who augmented their agriculture with their machines were able to evolve. And farming has a very special place in my heart because my father is a farmer. So most of my examples, most of my love for integrating AI with human comes from wanting to see how I can use this to make sure that, it grows. But I digress. Back to being an AI augmented professional. To be an AI augmented professional, you always have to continue learning. Things are changing rapidly, so your skills must adapt. I know there's always that fear of overload or learning too much when there's not enough time, but we can take time for it. And funny enough, you can actually use AI to learn faster. Set up Google Alerts, connect it to your ChatGPT, and it will give you summarized versions of notes in whatever field you need. Sorry for that. Zesco is happening. We're back. Yes. 2, focus on human-centric skills as a professional as you are improving and evolving. There are a lot of skills that were there before that have been taken away after the rise of technology. For example, years prior, I think that was in the early 19th century, we had people who would go to school just to learn how to type. But look at us now, 100 years later. It has been replaced. Every single person knows how to type. So focus on skills that require you to be creative, to be strategic. The things that no matter how much AI learns, they cannot do. So that's in terms of creativity, in terms of strategy. Empathy. AI cannot learn empathy, but as humans, we have empathy, and we can use that to make sure that our AI is safe for everybody and our jobs are secure. Collaborate with AI. As a person, you can either be a person who writes one report 1 week or one report in 1 day. AI can make you faster and more powerful. It's not your rival. It's your enabler. Lastly, guide and interpret. The AI does not know everything, as we have mentioned time and again. It needs human oversight. So together with AI, you can be unstoppable. So this is our second last slide. So what can you do? What is your action step from right now? Identify your challenge and choose your AI tool. A few tools I can recommend in learning and in improving your AI usage is a tool that was created by the AI Lab. I am so proud of this tool. I'm just going to click on it so that I can show you what this looks like. It helps you, it's a test or a quiz that evaluates how ready you are as an individual to use AI or as a company. I guess my network is not doing so well, but it will be shared in the links and you can take the test and see where you can start if you're overwhelmed on finding the challenge yourself. So there's an AI Academy that teaches you on how to prompt well, teaches you all the basics of prompting. And lastly is the Gamma.app application. This is the application that I had used to create this presentation. I figured because we're mostly professionals here, you are making presentations, why not have your first draft done so easy, so seamlessly for you that all you have to do is change the context. More tips for getting started with AI. You have to tell it what to do, not what not to do. Okay, instead of saying don't include sad parts, say make the tone happy and uplifting. Specify what you want with AI. If you want the answer to be a list, a table, like the way we did with the summary, we had to specify that we wanted it in point form. Specify the tone and the style. Do you want it to be sounding natural sounding? Do you have a famous author you want the style to follow? Is that a specific tone, friendly or formal? So be specific. Consider using examples. If you have a report you have done before and you want to create a first draft, you can share the old report and say, follow this example and create a report for me. Lastly, break down big tasks. Use chain prompting. You have your first prompt. You follow orders when doing your own tasks. You can use that order and tell chat or whatever tool you're using to follow that order. So these are the last tips from me in terms of using AI. And I really hope that this has helped you be a better AI user and help you advance more in your career. So thank you so much, Mapalo. I think we can open for questions.
Thank you so much, Muya, and grateful to everyone who's stayed on the call. It's going to be us taking questions now, and Muya is available for questions, and I'm also available for any questions she would like me to take. This is an opportunity for us to expand our mind and horizons around AI. I always like to say something a mentor once told me is that when we don't ask questions, people determine how much we know. So, as Bongo Hive and Kala, we've told you what we want you to know. If you want to know the stuff we haven't, told you, now is a good opportunity to ask that question. So, for questions, just go ahead and type in the chat. If you're on the call, and maybe would like to ask a question, perhaps our host can be able to unmute you if you raise your hand. And as long as you won't take too long, you could ask that question. So let's just go ahead and just look at the chat. I think I saw a few questions earlier, and I'll just address them to you, Moya, and see if you can address some of these.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. We have a question from Veronica Sakala, and she asked, how safe is the data that we feed AI?
How safe is the data that we feed AI? So different tools have different levels of safety. A lot of tools in terms of, say, for example, ChatGPT have said that you cannot, for example, query somebody else's query, if that makes sense. Somebody cannot go on chat and say, what did Veronica in Zambia query? However, chat uses the information that you have fed it to train the model so that when somebody asks for questions, they can use what they have learned from your query, not the content, but the principles to answer that question. So it varies in terms of how safe it is, but do not share your passwords and usernames on those that are not safe for that. I hope that answers your question.
I think Vera can let us know, and maybe just also add to that conversation around safety. I mean, there are different degrees of safety. Obviously, regarding also how you consider ethics, and by ethics I mean how you believe people will take care of your data. We must realize that most of the popular models out there are all centralized models, and they're made by big tech companies like Google, Meta. We have Twitter, that's now X, that has Grok. We've got people in Europe that have got a different open source platform out there that's very useful as well. But the question that you need to ask yourself is that, are you using ChatGPT or any of these tools to provide sensitive data? You might want to be cautious. Sometimes you can be able to get the same result by being able to redact sensitive information. As a person who's a data analyst, sometimes one way to do that is just to describe the data I'm working with without providing the data itself. So I can describe the data as the data of school kids aged between 8 and 9. These are students that maybe may have ABCD. I may just be able to describe it, no information like which school or what project, and you can redact that information, and AI can give you or simulate for you what would be maybe a better way to build that database for that particular data set. So finding smart ways around it is very important. Or you could also go the extreme side and also vote for a decentralized AI, which is a very key conversation to be had. This is AI that no one has control over, built on a blockchain and being trained on a blockchain. And this is AI that may be, but you see, it's considered very safe compared to centralized AI, because no one can come and check your data, right? It's kind of protected under the blockchain security level where no one can hack into your process. But at the same time, AI on a blockchain, if it ever got to AGI, which is essentially an AI that achieves the ability to reason on its own, no one can stop a decentralized AI system. No one can plug it out. So it would be essentially something that would have its own life form and no one can kill it, right? So it's really debatable, but we can go on AI and safety levels. But it's a great question. Thanks, Veronica. Another question, Muya, that's been asked is, what are the free versions of developing the PPT presentations? I know you might have touched on that. Someone would like to know if you have any recommendations.
Okay, off the top of my head, the free version I think of is gamma.app. They have a lot. It has a premium version and a free version, but the free version has a lot of tokens and allows you to do a lot of things. And then next, if you want to do something that has, for example, say you're making a pitch presentation for a business, there's a specified platform, that's Zenith.ai as well. So I think I'll just share that in the chat. So gamma.app and Zenith.ai.
Thank you. There's a lot of questions online. Some with regards to the slides. I'll answer for Moya on that one. We need to check. I'm not so sure we are able to share our slides publicly on any social media page, but that's something that we can look into. I'll just go ahead and address also other questions that have been raised. In academic research, AI generated content is considered plagiarism. How do I use AI without plagiarism in academic research?
How can you use AI without? That is a very difficult question. So I think the best way to use AI in research is, rather than have it do the research for you, have it do the preliminary research and you make the final draft on your own. I know that is very tedious, but it does help make the work easier unless they change the standards in academia in terms of like plagiarism, which is something that is being considered, that whether or not AI work is plagiarized work. As it stands, you just have to get the information and rewrite it using your human hand.
Thanks, Samuya. And going ahead with more questions. There's a question, what's your experience with AI agents? Can it be used in Zambia?
Yes. Okay, my experience with AI agents is, I'm not sure if you can call this an AI agent. I'll have Mapalo correct me if I'm wrong. But for example, you have a business and you connect it to an automation platform like make.com. And in your workflow, you add, okay, when I get this email, send it to ChatGPT. ChatGPT creates a response and then it sends it back to the person and responds to the person. That is the closest experience I can think of within Zambia using an AI agent. It's very easy to use, very easy to create, especially with platforms like Make or is it what's that
Anytime.
platform? Yes.
Anytime.
N8N, those are also platforms that are not code-based, and just by reading the instructions, you can make it happen rather than having something that you have to write code for.
Thanks. And maybe to add to that, so like Muya has said, definitely AI agents can work in Zambia. She's mentioned some very interesting applications that you might want to look at. Make.com, N8N are really good for building automations using AI agents. Essentially, what you do is you can connect this AI agent to the tools that you use in your day-to-day. Maybe areas that locally we haven't yet improved on when it comes to AI agents is that there are not so many localized AI local language APIs. I could get into what an API is, but essentially it's a key that allows you to access other applications. But what I mean is that many people trying to utilize AI agents within the local language context may struggle a little because there's too few players in that market. And most of the players still have a locked door policy where you have to reach out to their sales team. Then they kind of onboard you and they don't really have a publicly available API for use cases. So there are certain things that we have been able to do already because these platforms allow us to utilize tools that we're already utilizing today. But there may be certain areas where we are catching up on. And I think Zambia is also doing a really good job. We have got some people pushing really hard in this space. But great questions as well. Let me move on. We have about 8 minutes to go on this call, and we would love to answer as many as we can. Paul says, does politely asking AI to do a task affect the response you get, or being straight to the point the best? That's what the question goes like. Would I'd like to take this up?
Yes. I love this question because we get it often. Going straight to the point is often the best with AI. As much as it feels good to say please and thank you and wanting to feel like your chat GPT actually likes you, adding additional words or unnecessary words such as please and thank you to your prompts just ends up using more power in terms of electricity and becomes costly, and you're better off just being straight to the point.
Great, nicely answered, Moya over there. And we have Walia Simwaka asking, since data is more precious than oil, I must add and say allegedly, right? Should we should we be worried about the information that AI chatbot owners get about us? What are your thoughts?
See, my thoughts is, if you think about it, it's a balancing thing. I'll need your help on this one, Mapelo, but it's a balancing act. you have to be careful about what you feed the AI or the owners. But a lot of this big tech company already have so much information about you. So it's just about, oh, okay, what information can they use to disrupt your actual work? But in terms of your whole persona, they have probably a digital image of you in the platforms, from your Facebooks to your Instagrams to your Google. Yes, Mapalo can take over here.
Thanks, Moya. And I think to that point, a lot of us actually have volunteered a lot of our data to platforms like Facebook, LinkedIn, way less information than we volunteer to chatbot owners. And so if there's any potential harm, I guess maybe we should question how much we actually put out on social media platforms as opposed to a chatbot. Most of the data that, at least we build AI chatbots for clients as well under our Bongo Hive Consult wing with AI Lab and the tech department. And we have seen that most people use this for customer care. So essentially, most of the information that you volunteer is information that will lead to resolving your challenges. So there's no harm in being able to supply such information. Obviously, if it's information to do with personal details like banking information, your Airtel money pin, your date of birth are tied with something that would unlock access to funding. Those are maybe your NRC number and all that detail on a site that you don't trust and for no reason. You may want to be careful about those personalized details, but general information, that's information that's either you are volunteering by essentially giving it by a chatbot, or if you're using any of these platforms like Google, Facebook, you already consented to them using cookies to take that information or be able to get that from your profile. So it's really just a matter of you trying to understand what data you're giving, how sensitive it is, and how it can be used against you. And moving on, we have Lillian Chesico. I hope I said that correctly. Apologies if I didn't. How can AI be used in teaching and learning by teachers and by learners without compromising ethics?
So how can AI be used by teachers without compromising ethics? A good case study, this is something I helped a friend set up, is that they used AI to create learning plans for their classes. So that is one way of using it without compromising the standards. And for students, you can use it to break down an explanation of something. As long as you're using AI to learn, not to replace the act of learning, AI is okay. It won't compromise ethics. So are you using AI to explain concepts, explain how to go about doing an assignment, or are you asking AI to do the assignment for you? That's the difference between using it ethically and using it dangerously.
Thanks, Moya. And just adding to your conversation, the ethics conversation is broad. In places like the US, there are assessments that your lecture will tell you you can use AI, and in that particular context, they've been able to approve the use and they've raised the challenge of the exercise. I believe that we also have open people locally who are doing that now. And I think it's a conversation that we would love to dig into deeper, maybe also at an ongoing webinar in the future. And thanks for being able to open that beautiful can of worms. And something would be obviously open to explore if people are really hungry to get deeper into that topic. I'll just go ahead and ask the last question because we are running out of time. Just to Mambo, who says that you're running a survey, always feel free to reach out to our email data@bongohive.co.zm if you have any requests for potential collaborations. That's the email you can reach out to us, data@bongohive.co.zm. Then Sampasi, who says, can Bongo Hive AI Lab offer AI business solutions? Absolutely. If you go to our site, ai.bongohive.co.zm, we do have a list of business solutions we currently offer. We even have a few demos for you to try out some of the solutions that you might want to take advantage of. Those the credits for some of those demos are capped on the day. So if you have so many users, you may have to try the following day. There's a cure for that. But you can go ahead and try some of those. But definitely that's a yes. The last question, does AI models continue to learn in production? If yes, why do companies continue to train them in their labs? I think I can take this one. So yes, AI models continue to learn in production, specifically when that model has been permitted most of the time the ability to train with your data. I mean, tools like ChatGPT, which are popular, I saw a number of people listed. You have the option to be able to turn it off so that your data is not being utilized for training. If you go to your settings on ChatGPT, you can actually waive that and ensure that your data is not being utilized. By default, everything you put in ChatGPT can be used in training until you turn it off. So that's the keynote for those of you that don't know. You can go ahead and turn that off in your settings. But then speaking about why people should train them in labs is because these AI models, people are wanting them to be more, to evolve even more. When some of them came out, they were not as good at solving qualitative problems like math equations or programming equations. So they had to continue training these with more specialized and even to some level, some guided learning so that the AI can be more specialized on that particular space. So there are things that an AI won't learn just to, deep learning and it just being able to put in all this information. Sometimes they may need to specialize the training. It's what ChatGPT, the ChatGPT, OpenAI did with their image generation with text. They had to further fine tune the training for AI to be able to identify text. And to achieve that, they couldn't just be able to dump a lot of data and expect the AI to find patterns. They needed to inform it that this is what A looks like, this is what B looks like, this is what the word vowel looks like, right? So there may be areas that AI is not yet fully equipped to do on its own through unguided learning. That's the official term. That guided learning might be a better way to approach that. And so that's why labs keep on finding better ways to train. Another key term, and I end with this, is what they call reinforcement learning. This is where they've been trying to let an AI learn the way humans learn, where we stop, think, reflect. And so they are trying different ways to see how AI can perform better because they're actually competing against each other, across benchmarks. I hope this has been helpful. We have another session on Thursday where we'll be looking at vibe coding for local developers, people who want to build stuff with AI. AI can now be able to build you a website, build you an application with text today. You don't need to have a coding degree to attend this session. You don't even have to have ever coded in your life. You will find this very useful. For developers, you'll find that this will elevate the way you build products. One of the key stuff we'll also be sharing is how you can actually elevate how premium your sites look using vibe coding tools so that they don't just look like every other person who's doing vibe coding. So see you same time Thursday. Thank you for joining us. We look forward to having you. And again, a big thanks to Kala, who's leading the AI Literacy Week across different parts of Africa. And also from the Bongo Hive team, we say have a lovely evening.
Thank you, everybody. Have a lovely evening. Don't forget to look at our AI lab.